Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. I'm Rob Finnerty. It's been 1 year since the Supreme Court's landmark ruling to overturn Roe versus Wade. Since that time, 24 states have implemented different pro-life laws. The ruling played a big role in the November midterm elections. Some say this ruling helped Democrats. It is expected to be something that Democrats try to use to their advantage again in 2024. Joining us now for more is Oklahoma Senator and member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, James Lankford. Senator, good morning. Great to have you back on.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, sir. You were a big part of the charge to overturn Roe v. Wade. The decision remains hugely controversial across the country. Take us through what the last year has meant for the country.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. When you look at what's really a controversial decision, it was the actual Roe v. Wade decision itself 50 years ago when the Supreme Court invented new constitutional authorities. The Dobbs decision, the 24th of June of last year, the Supreme Court came back and looked at it and said, there was no basis for the Roe v. Wade decision. The decision about abortion historically has been a decision that's been made by states and by elected officials, not by judges. And so what the Supreme Court did is they turned it back over to the American people again. So the American people can decide this issue. And so, as you mentioned, about half of the states have put in some sort of restrictions on abortion to be able to protect the value of every single child. And some states have actually increased the number of abortions in their state. This is the big national conversation. The best we can tell at this point, we've got about 200,000 children that are alive today that would not have been alive if it wasn't for the Dobbs decision. So there's 200,000 children. They'll be headed to kindergarten in a few years that will be playing out in the playground.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable thing for each of those kids.
That's the word I was going to use. Two quick ones on this. How do you expect this to play a role in 2024? The Democrats tried to, and I think you could argue they did use this to their advantage during the midterms back in November. Do you expect the same in 2024?
Yeah, I would expect the same in 2024. I'd expect Democrats nationwide to be able to say, hey, we want the ability to be able to take the lives of children at whatever point in gestation that we want to be able to do that. Republicans, I think, will stand up and say, hey, let's talk about the value of every single child. Quite frankly, this is the nature of a republic. We should have this kind of national dialogue. The court had taken that away during Roe v. Wade. Now it's back again, and we can actually talk about what's the value of every child. I believe that every child is valuable. We don't have some children that are disposable and some children that are valuable. They're all valuable. Let's have that conversation, and let's get a chance to be able to walk through it in a respectful way.
Yeah, good point, Senator. So you're a member of the most exclusive club on the planet, the United States Senate, only 100 members. The subplot to this whole story a year ago was the Supreme Court leaker, whoever leaked this draft opinion. We still don't have an answer to that. Which is just, again, to use the word remarkable, it is remarkable that we have no idea who leaked this draft decision. Do you expect us to ever get an answer to that question?
I think that will eventually come out. It's such a small group of people that have access to those different opinions while they're being written. Literally, there's not internet access in the Supreme Court. When they discuss this, it's all done just internally, and it's documents. And if you print it off, it's a specialized printer for each office. And so they would know if it's printed, what office it comes from. So it's very, very tight in the way they handle it, and it's a very small group of people that have it. So, yes, I think eventually it will come out and should come out.
Yeah, the wheels of justice are slow moving, as we just learned with Hunter Biden. 5 years for what we got yesterday. That's how long the investigation took. I want to talk about John Durham. He's going to testify on Capitol Hill before the Judiciary Committee in the House this morning, just a little over an hour from now, starting around 9 a.m. Eastern, about FBI misconduct and corruption. His report, the Durham report, found no connection between the 2016 Trump campaign and Russia. What are you hoping to learn today?
So I think a lot of what should come out today is what are the recommendations that John Durham would make? How did this actually happen? Where literally FBI DC headquarters was making decisions that most every FBI agent in the field would say that's an absurd decision. So there's got to be some recommendations that'll come out to how to be able to fix what's happening in the DC part of the FBI. We have great field agents. We have great folks that are scattered around the country serving our nation every single day, taking down gang violence, taking out all kinds of things that are out there with the FBI and federal crimes. But clearly, there's a political objective in the D.C. office that's got to be resolved, and we hope that John Durham can expose some of that today in the testimony.
Sir, 15 seconds. How big a problem is it for the FBI that so many Americans have lost faith in the Bureau?
It's not only a big problem for the FBI, it's a big problem for the United States. We need to have trust in our law enforcement. We need to be able to look at what law enforcement is doing and saying they're being fair in the way they prosecute and the way they handle every case. So for the field office versus what's happening in D.C., it's very important for the D.C. office to clean up its act.
Okay. Senator, great to have you on this morning. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford joining us. We appreciate it. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you again.